Asmongold, one of the most uneducated and dumbest people on this planet, is gonna talk about politics and Trump's plans for the future. I can't wait to hear some enlightened opinions.
10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second,
Whoa! These are these crazy radical ideas the left warned us about if Trump becomes president. Holy! Oh man.
we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals.
I agree with that 90%, but I don't want to see, like, for example, in a very religious community, I don't want to see parents pressure the schools into teaching the kids religion or not teaching them about evolution or certain things in science that contradict the religion. So, like, I'm on board with this about 90%. Not
Okay. Just saying that to be a contrarian because this is probably gonna happen, granted, but it's gonna happen in like most likely one of what 10,000 places or 100,000 places. This is super niche, but it's probably gonna happen in like again one of 10,000 places or plus.
at 100.
And teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like
That's good. That's absolutely good. They need to pay teachers more money, though. Because, like, you can't fire people from these shitty fucking jobs and expect everybody else to want to take their place. They've got to give teachers more money.
on The Apprentice, you have
That's a very, very nice stake that literally no one holds if you actually have worked in your life. The reality of America and literally every other country in this world is, yeah, there's a bunch of shitty jobs that don't pay well, but guess what? A bunch of people who can't do anything but these shitty jobs, so they will take them anyway. Modern day society has been working on this principle for decades at this point, and it hasn't failed yet.
fired. Third,
No way.
whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired.
That's his show, by the way. That was his show.
Didn't see it
Third,
though.
we will ensure our classrooms are
Turn it down a little bit.
focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed.
Imagine
Reading, writing, math,
But how will the left gain more people in its ranks now? You gotta indoctrinate them young, otherwise it's not gonna work.
science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support.
Did you guys have to do the Pledge of Allegiance whenever you were in school? I know we did. I feel like it kind of fell off a little bit, but I remember, yeah.
Bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will
Huge.
Bro, the thing about not hating the country, dude, how many times have you seen on Twitter or whatever that schools literally don't want to even, in America, have the American flag out? Or visible, or they replace it with like the fucking rainbow flag or some shit like that. That's insane.
Huge disagree on this one. I don't think prayer and school should have anything to do with each other. I think that there should be a place for students.
He probably has no idea what returning prayer means, actually. Okay, let's see.
That want to be religious to pray. I think that's totally fair. But to have it be incorporated into the actual curriculum or into the actual like function of the school, no.
Okay, yeah, Asmongold has no idea what this Trump point is, and this one is something where people are split, because actually it's a super easy point. This does not mean that hey, you're gonna have like a Jesus class now added to your curriculum. No, that's just the fact that you can now pray in school if you want to do that, and you can do it now. Now, granted, the confusion comes here in the fact that it's technically already allowed, and that's where the confusion starts. But think about this for a minute. It's technically allowed, but how many videos we have seen of classrooms filled to the brim with, I don't know, BLM flags, gay flags, trans flags, all of that. You think that it is, while it is technically allowed, do you think anyone feels comfortable actually, doing something like praying in a classroom or doing something like that? Where the teacher probably is going to instantaneously start screeching that is somehow hateful or hate speech. Yeah, well, not really. This is where the mothers get muddied a lot. But currently, at least, the Trump's idea of bringing back prayer is not like mandatory, holy studies or something like that.
Achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any
Oh, by the way, yeah, private school, absolutely acceptable. Totally fine.
schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh,
That's good.
Nice.
That's true. That's exactly what they should do. There's no reason to tolerate a violent student for any reason. And being violent should have a zero tolerance policy. There's no reason why anybody should put up with that.
Yeah, kids should learn to bully people covertly, because bullying is a major part of society that we cannot lose, because bullies are literally the ones that hold the dam of autism flooding the countries, okay? Bullies serve a pivotal role in society at making it better and expelling the weak, okay? They should learn to do it covertly.
If you're hitting people and touching people in school,
Ooh, touching.
like we had a school where there were plenty of gangs there. There were like plenty of people that were, like a lot of them are in jail now. And everybody got along. There's no reason that somebody has to be violent. They already do? Yeah.
will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom.
This is a really big component. Self-defense. Well, yeah, of course, that's different. Like, obviously, it's different. Self-defense. But it's not even a question, right? But I'm not talking about that. So meaningful is the key. Yeah, I think this is a huge W.
Come on, Asmon. Push it up a notch. Come on, get into this. Not these superstitial, not really here, not really there takes. Come on, push it up a little bit. Come on, draw out that inner politician. Come on, do the classic Asmongold knows best for society in the world. Come on, do it.
I'm not if
be the man your dad never was and your mother sadly was.
If I had a kid, I would never send my kid to private school.
Absolutely you don't have to worry about
because
that.
I think that being in public school is like a very important socialization tool, and it allows.
Okay, here we go. That's completely false. What the fuck do you, bro? What do you think? Public schools are the only place to socialize, and private schools don't make your kids sociable? What the hell is that take? That is retarded. Arguably, in fact, kids who go to private schools are better at socializing than public schools, because in private schools every kid has a special amount of attention put to them, and where they are weaker at something, the teachers are supposed to actually, kind of work on that. For example, in a public school, if your kid is a fucking emo and kind of cutting himself behind the corner, no teacher is gonna give a fuck. In a private school, if a kid goes to class 2 times and he's emo, the parents are instantaneously gonna get a phone call, or the school is gonna look. Maybe it's because of the class situation. Maybe something's wrong. Public schools are way worse at teaching kids social skills than private schools, because private schools are literally gonna look at a kid. Well, the not super shitty ones, but most private schools aren't shitty. They're expensive. There can be probably exceptions, but yeah, in general, bro, listen. I have nieces that are going to public schools, and I have nieces that are going to private schools, aka extremely unreasonable high criteria private school, one where it's the equivalent of of America's Yale, but for 10-year-olds, things like that. They are so better at communicating than others because they get taught that shit. Okay, it's not even close. Private schools are gonna crush in every aspect compared to public schools. That's not even a question.
Allows you to understand and deal with people that aren't like you. And I think that's like one of the most valuable. Like, I think I learned a lot in high school, but I didn't learn anything in the actual classroom, if that makes sense. So, like, I would want to prepare my kid to be able to deal with the people in his community, right? And those are going to be the people that are rich, the people that are poor, the people that are stupid, the people that are coming from every other, walk of life. So,
knowing what I know about Asmongold's upbringing, I really doubt that he ever got to interact with someone rich in his school, considering it's supposed to be literally a fucking ghetto.
Personally, I'm very much a public school enjoyer. I think it was a great experience for me, all my friends, and I would want to have that happen. But, of course, it's individual people's choices. I think that what he's saying about having meaningful exercises and meaningful curriculum in schools is really important. I think one of the big issues, and this especially happens in the second half of high school, is that a lot of what kids learn are things that they're never going to use. Like, I would say about 90...
Only in the second half? I mean, I also didn't learn anything in university.
99% of everything that you learn in Algebra 2, you will never learn beyond Algebra 2. And you'll never use beyond Algebra 2. Unless you're, working in a specific...
No fucking idea what Algebra... Let me Google real quick. Algebra 2. Images. Dude, you don't even need Algebra 2. This is... Find x to the power of 2 and all of this crap. That's not even useful unless you go into to a specific field. Okay, so Asmongold is talking bullshit. Nice.
Field. So the problem is that how many of you guys remember your locker combination from high school? No one, right?
Bitch, I still remember the door code for the pack I got a week ago. 879789. There, a week ago.
Right? The reason why is because you're not readily using that information.
No, the reason why some people remember, like in this case, I remember it, because it depends on how much you exercise your memory or not. I do exercise my memory in a lot of cases. I spent my early years in school actually learning, doing strange things like memory exercise because I was bored in a lot of cases, okay? I learned a lot of shit like that. I learned historic terminology because it was interesting and things of that nature, okay? It just depends on what you learn, okay? Someone can have a good memory by default and remember these things. Some people can just have a trained memory and learn these things. What he's talking about, his example, is completely oblivious to actual real life and implications of real life. It is just clueless.
If you teach kids a bunch of stuff that they're not going to use regularly, they will forget the information, and it will be just as if you've never taught it to them at all.
Yeah?
They're not going to remember any of this stuff. They're going to immediately forget it because it's not relevant to them, and they're going to forget.
Yes, that's not the point of fucking school, though, dipshit, okay? The point of Algebra 2, or whatever Americans have, is just to train your mind. It is just a level of, it is just an escalating level of complexity so you are fucking smarter, okay? The reason why currently 10-year-olds are smarter than the average 40-year-old 100 years ago is because specifically of these things. Because we are not actually smarter than them, but we are capable to understand more because we have a more finite curve of doing these things. We're effectively leveling up our understanding of doing things. Okay? You're not supposed to remember everything from Algebra 2. Because it's fucking pointless and everyone knows it's fucking pointless unless you go into a specific direction where that is necessary. It's just designed to sharpen your mind. The facts around of the world are very simple. Someone who is good at fucking math until the 12th grade is probably smarter on average than the guy who doesn't understand fucking math for shit. Now, there are exceptions, obviously, to this, but typically someone who understands math to a higher degree is, in general, smarter than someone who doesn't. That is the point of teaching all these advanced metric things.
Forget how to do it.
Not the fact that they are going to be necessary in life. Even though actually a surprising amount of the simple stuff is useful in life. Like, have you ever painted shit? Yeah. That's where understanding the space. What is it called? If you remember how to do that, you know how much paint you're supposed to actually get if you understand how to do those things.
Yeah, use it or you lose it.
Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences.
That's huge. That's crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, I know my high school is trying to do more of this too, because like they had like more of a focus on like doing trade school
On fucking what? Putting kids in gangs faster now?
type stuff. And this is it's massive. I did my locker. Yeah, sure. It's not going to happen. I don't.
I was gonna actually say, yeah, that is a nice thing, but that is probably way too hard to pull off, and it's not gonna happen. This is like a plan that probably takes 4 years to make and then 5 years to implement. So it's a nice novel idea that you can actually strive forward, but this is not happening. Trump's not gonna get that done. No way.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Like if you think that Trump is a bullshitter and he's lying and none of this stuff is happening, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to fight with you about this.
That can set them on a path to their first job.
Yeah.
They're going to be.
That's stupid to say, because if you think that Trump is a bullshit and a liar, you just don't vote for him. Okay? We can't work under the assumption that everyone is always lying, because then society collapses. Like, If Asmongold thinks that Trump is a bullshitter and liar, then he's a fucking moron for voting for him. That's as simple as it gets. Okay? Why would you willingly vote for someone who is a bullshitter and a liar?
Very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world.
Yeah.
But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent.
Yeah, I think that's a huge component. Like having kids be able to get jobs immediately out of school is like super, super important. And I think also like there's a big issue like in high school. How many of you guys were fed the mantra or like the ideology of if you don't go to college, you kind of didn't make it?
Nope. Didn't happen in my country. In fact, almost no one was talking about college when I finished the 12th grade. Even the mathematician class, which was supposed to be the brightest of the bunch and all of that. Now, arguably, most everyone went to college, except the obviously retarded ones. And, well, that's kind of it. No one really talked about going to college. No one was really concerned. For us, I don't know what was that the case when my parents were growing up, but college has been that thing in America. As much as I hear, oh, you need to go to college or you're gonna die poor, little fucking bitch. No, that wasn't the case for me. I barely remember that I have to go to college after I finished the 12th grade.
Like you kind of fucked up. Me, right? Everybody.
I mean, literally, I almost messed up the sign up.
And so, like, is that really true? No, it's not really true. Like, there's plenty of guys that didn't go to college and they own a plumbing company and they make $600,000 a year. Now, that's also a minority, but it's a minority of anybody making $600,000 a year, right? Let's be honest. And also, they don't have a massive amount of student loan debt. So, like, I think there's a very big issue.
Oh, that's kind of a good example, but it's a good example on a basic level. There's a huge problem with that example, When you're talking about someone who actually makes it in life and makes like 500K or owns even their own business, we're talking about literally the cream of the crop, the people who were gonna be great no matter do they go to college or they don't go to college. And let me tell you, these people are fucking visible from the get-go, okay? These people who are gonna make it big in life are visible from the get-go because they are just fucking smart. Uh, from my middle school, I know a couple of people who were visibly, oh yeah, this guy is smarter than the rest, and they're now doctors and shit, and they're by the way decent people and not socially awkward retards. Just FYI. One of the greatest examples of this when I just clearly met someone who was fucking smarter than most, and I was like, holy shit, I'm literally a retard compared to this guy. I met that guy in university. Fun fact, he didn't finish university, but that's not the whole story. And the moment I understand that he's like, this is what fucking intelligence looks like, was when I was friends with him. And from the bat, he seemed your actual average jock. He did sports. He actually didn't drink, which was kind of very very rare. He just flat out didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do any of this. And again, I'm talking about being like fucking 20 years old at that time, and he didn't actually have good grades. That's the funny part. But again, this is where the crazy bits start. And one time, me and him, we needed to do something in our statistics class. And we didn't show up for an exam or something like that. I don't remember what was it, but we essentially had to go and do it. And the two of us are the only people there. We're sitting. It's a nice place. We're launched back in the seats, and I'm fucking struggling because this is literally advanced statistics where a 50-50 coin flip probability is not actually 50%. If you fucking flip a coin, it's actually 50.07 something and shit like that. That kind of statistics level, okay? And I'm like, I'm fucking clueless what's happening here. I don't know how to solve this. And this guy, this motherfucker, who has not studied, who has no idea what's happening, he's as clueless as me, is looking at the numbers. And he's literally fucking creating the formulas from scrap just because he looks at the numbers. That is the first time in my life when I felt truly fucking stupid and literally just goddamn under someone. That was the first time in my life. I'm looking at it, I'm completely clueless, and this guy is just creating fucking equations out of statistical equations out of thin fucking air and figuring it out. Fuck me. And he didn't finish high school. Not high school, but college. I did, though. And guess what? He's currently the owner of a fucking cleaning company. That's doing pretty good. Again, these people are just visible. When you see someone with fucking raw talent, you're gonna instantaneously just tell that they're different. It is uncanny how fucking feelable it is.
Where kids in school are taught that going to college is like the only way to be successful in a way that's respected by society. And I think that if high schools spent more time like teaching kids trades, like for me, for example, like what did I want to do like after school? I wanted to do computer repair. Well, I actually didn't want to have a job. I wanted to live off the government and play video games all day. But my second best thing would be doing computer repair. So like whenever I was in school, every year I took computer maintenance. And I would go around the school fixing computers, doing repairs, and, you know, like basically making sure that all of the computers in the school run well. And I even taught like the younger kids, like, you know, the kids that are like a grade under me whenever I was a senior, and, you know, people that were grade ahead of me when I was a junior and sophomore, they taught me, right? Like that's the way it works. And so anyway, all of this happened is that like by the time that was finished, a lot of my friends now, like that were in that class, they almost all got tech jobs and they have good jobs now. They have great jobs. And so like, and we got certifications and like all of that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it was literally asking me, well, of course I had to teach people, right? I mean, that's your responsibility. And so anyway, there were some times, bro, like, oh god, this is a bit of a tangent. So one time, like, about like 60% of every single computer problem happened in the special ed room. And so I spent an entire day trying to fix a PC, and I couldn't fix it. I spent the entire like 2 hours of like the class period trying to fix this PC. I come back the next day with 3 of the younger kids, like not younger, they're like a grade under me. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I don't know what it is. I walk into the room, the router was unplugged. And I was like,
I was kind of guessing something was nice.
Guys, wait out there. And I'm like, I plug it in and I see it where I'm son of a bitch. Yeah, teacher, he just called me on the phone. He said that he said y'all need to go get some keyboards. And yeah, just real quick, y'all need to get some keyboards and then come back and then it'll be good. Because I would always tell them, the thing is, like, I had this thing I would tell them. I said, you have to think outside the box, which means, like, make sure all the cables are connected. And I would tell the kids this. And then
the kids, when you were a kid,
the motherfuckers unplugged.
Sounds
and
also
I knew,
not
right?
believable.
Because everybody here was a young guy. So, like, if they saw that I didn't do that, bro, they would have, like, that would have been it for me. I would have been done. And they come back later, and they're like 5 minutes later, they're like, yeah, he said he didn't call you. I was like, oh, it must have been, like, somebody else. And they're like, okay. I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, oh, I fixed it. They're like, what'd you do? I was like, oh, I went into the BIOS, and I had to re-register the command prompt system, and then I had to release and, confirm a new IP address, and then after I did that, the computer worked just like it's supposed to. They're like, wow, really? I said, yeah, it is what it is. And they're like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go back to class, guys. We're done.
Arrogance and weakness in this full display.
I felt like such a fucking retard, man. That was it. So, like, I learned a lot in that class, right? We learned a lot. And a lot of my friends in that class, even the ones that were like a grade under us, even they got jobs in tech. Even they got jobs in computer repair. And so, like, why can't you have that for welding? Why can't you have...
Well, you can, technically. But the reason they got the jobs there is, this is going to be my guess, and it's probably the correct one, is not because they were introduced to that as kids, but because they were interested in that. And they found it. Most people who are talented at something or good at something naturally lean towards that thing, because it's always better in the world as a human to do something that you like, something that you're good at, not something that you are shit at. Kind of a natural filtration system, if you will.
Have that for carpentry? Why can't you have that for other things that aren't computers? So that's it. 2 minutes and 45 minutes? Yeah, exactly, right? Watch your stream, maybe. And you got into the mainframe. I would have called you out. Yeah, but you didn't. So they knew less than I did.
Yeah, but shit. We almost watched full Asmongold video. Jesus, holy! How am I gonna live with myself? Anyway, bye bye.